only been 2 games, but has there been a player, 2 collection of players that have popped a little bit? Not necessarily like, 100 yards receiving, but a guy that's contributed, anybody that's maybe made a move on this roster that's made a little bit of more of an impact than people recognize.
Well, yeah, we talked about Marvin Harrison earlier, Mecca Buka, those 2 guys at wide receiver, but I think nobody's as hot right now as Mike Hall Jr., the defensive tackle. He's got 5 tackles for loss in 2 games. And one of the big stories coming out of the game is he left in the second half with what appeared to be a shoulder injury. They were looking over his shoulder there on the sideline. And so, yeah, I think that that was a major concern, I think, for everybody coming out of the game. I don't know if he had a stinger or what his problem was with his shoulder, but it didn't turn out to be anything too severe. And he has been the most impact player probably on the front line for Ohio State on defense. JT Tui Maloau is getting some good pressures coming off the edge, hasn't gotten a sack yet. We predicted this would be a big year for him. Jack Sawyer is learning the Jack Leo stand-up position that does a little bit of everything. And, that's a tough position to learn, playing football, I guess, that you got to have a really great understanding of offensive football to play that position. So I think as the season wears on, he'll pay more and more dividends. Tommy Eichenberg's been outstanding at middle linebacker as well. And you get much beyond that. I think a lot of people think Donovan Jackson at offensive guard, 2 starts into it. He did give up a sack, I think, early in the Notre Dame game, but since then has played pretty well. So, Mayan Williams has done pretty well with the limited opportunities he's had running the football. Those are probably 4 of the 5, the 6, 7 guys that, aren't preseason All-American, all Big Ten guys, but are really starting to show what they're capable of doing.
Kevin, if Steve left you with anyone, then they must be a real diamond in the rough. So is there anybody else that stands out?
Yeah, no, I'm going to throw Lathan Ransom out there, somebody who the last time we saw him before this season was being carted off at the Rose Bowl with an air cast on his leg. Came in game 1. Josh Proctor wasn't having the strongest of game, and Lathan Ransom came out and played very well. And then, what's your reward? Well, you're back with the 2s for the Arkansas State game, but they're going to need him. He's somebody I think that's playing very well that we got to see some bits and pieces of him last season, but his extended run that he had in that Notre Dame game was high level, and somebody I think that should be on that list.